Yeah, so I think we are live, and I welcome you all to weekly websites meeting of Layer 5. Today is May not okay. So there seems to be some issue with the date. It will be 12th of May. So, and I think it's the second sites meeting of the month. So yeah, just like the name says, we will be covering sites that are listed, layer5.io, then docs site for Layer 5, then Meshri, and so on and so forth. These sites, they actually use React, then some Hugo. There are some sites which run on Jekyll. So a pretty vast set of technology that and the framework that they run on. So we ideally discuss them all in this call. And so if you have got any issues or pull requests on sites or design system or UI UX or any general feedback or enhancements you are proposing for sites, please go ahead by dropping them all into this meeting minutes. Since a couple of you may just be joining and may not have access to the history of chat, I just shared this Google Docs again. Yeah, you also can write your name in the attendees. So many of you already have, so that's really great. Who have not, please do. We will now be starting and will be following the tradition. And that is, if you're joining this call for the very first time, meaning that you're a newcomer to this call, please go ahead and give a quick introduction. So you can start by telling like, how did you come to know about the community? What's the technology or language that you're most proficient in? And maybe what's your favorite color or, which part of the world you are calling from? So I think Nitin is joining us for the very first time, and so I'll ask that Nitin goes first and gives his introduction. So you can unmute and give your intro, Nitin. And just a heads up, if you have any issues with bandwidth or mic, you can also do the same in chat. So let's quickly see who all we have got as a newcomer. Yeah, that makes sense. So Nitin just sounded off that he's joining from the live class, so we'll not be able to. So that's totally understandable. Do you want to go like next and give your introduction to everyone? Yeah, Ayush. So this is like a stage taking moment. Since you're joining this call for the very first time, supposedly you can unmute and give everyone an introduction about you. So would you like to do that?
Yeah, for sure. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Please go ahead.
So hello everyone. I'm Ayush. I recently joined Meshri, and I'm looking forward to contributing to Layer 5's projects, especially towards the backend part. But I joined the website meeting as well because it's my first time working with a team, so I just wanted to know how things go around here.
That's just
Okay, so
awesome.
that's it for my son.
Like, that's quite intriguing. So do you also mind letting us know since you mentioned about the backend, what's the technology that you have till now worked with or want to learn
Yeah.
or are already working? Mhm.
Around about my backend, I'm a first year student right now at Chatkara
Mhm.
University, Punjab. And about the tech stack I use, I mainly have used Python up until now. I've been learning Go and Kubernetes for some time. I can work with Docker and some containerization technologies, and I work with Linux. So that's it. And yeah, I have worked with a few Rust projects as well in the past.
That sounds great. So, Python, Rust, and any number of cloud technology tools that you just mentioned. And probably you will also learn Golang as you are looking to contribute to this community, because we on the call we also have Matthew, and I'm mentioning Matthew in part because he is CLI maintainer and also takes a look like maintains a couple of things which are Go heavy. So ideally, like if you are getting involved into those areas, you will learn Golang. So then in total, you can say that you have three languages under your belt. So that's just awesome. Thanks a lot for your introduction, Ayush.
Yep, sure.
All right, looks like we have got a couple of more newcomers on the call, and it is always pleasure to know them all. So Abhijit, do you mind going next and giving your introduction? And similarly for Rajat and Rishabh. I remember, I don't think it's the very first time for Rajat, but for Rishabh, I'm just not sure. So would any one of you would like to go next and give your quick introduction?
Yeah, so I am Rishabh Chauhan.
Mm.
I am here because I want to learn and contribute in your front end stack.
All
So
right.
uh,
And that's just awesome. So I'll just quickly ask about the framework that you're familiar with and or want to learn, Rishabh.
so I'm familiar with React, and I'll also be starting TypeScript soon. So that's that's all.
All right, thanks a lot for letting me know. And yeah, like React and TypeScript Wicked project are in ample amount, and yeah, there are some help wanted areas to it. So I'll be sure to shine a spotlight on them so that you can get involved. Thanks a lot for your introduction, Rishabh.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss any newcomer on the call today? If I did, oh, it looks like it's Siddhant. So Siddhant, would you like to go next and give your introduction to all the folks on the call? It's possible that Siddhant has some audio.
Yeah, one second. I was just exiting the library, sorry. Yeah,
Yes.
my name is Siddhant Pragyan. Sorry, I joined late, so I have a little bit out of context. Yeah, but still, my name is Siddhant Pragyan Sinha. I have been practicing web development and a little bit of DevOps on the side for the last 1 year or so. And I have very much I have a very good command on TypeScript, PostgreSQL, Docker, and a little bit of Kubernetes and
Can anyone confirm if it's only for me or?
He's not audible.
Yeah, Siddhant, so it looks like we like lost your voice, I guess. Okay, looks like Siddhant had to leave the call or probably some bandwidth issues. So yeah, I'll encourage Siddhant when he joins back to, continue in the chat. All right, looks like that's it for the newcomers. Let's get rolling with the meeting. So after the introductions, we will be covering the standing agenda items. So I'll quickly wrangle them all. The very first would be on MDX migration. Now let's quickly talk about what this is about and how you can help if you are interested and want to take a look. So this PR is about related to this site, which is a Gatsby site. Let's quickly open that up. And not the LinkedIn one, but the Wave5i one. Yeah. So this site that you all can see on your screen, and let me also share the URL. This is based on Gatsby, which is a static site generator based on React. And so all the content that you see on this site, they are all written in Markdown, not necessarily all of them, but for example, the majority of them, for example, blog, if you go to any one of these blogs, these are basically written in a Markdown format, and they just get converted to such web pages using this plugin that's there, like the MDX plugin. And there are a number of other plugins that we use into this Gatsby site. But yeah, we will be talking about MDX. So what happened is in the recent past, we migrated the older version of Gatsby to its, I guess, the newer version. And the version for MDX that we currently have is no longer compatible. And we have not been able to upgrade because there are so many breaking changes and so many things to take care about. It has been a continuous effort by many others like Randy and then Sudhanshu also, who keeps joining this call whenever he gets time. He also is one of the maintainers. And so this is a area which is in need of help. And anyone who would like to dedicate some time to go through the past descriptions of the ask and take a look at the changes and help us figure out how to, do this accreditation, it would be quite a significant contribution from you. So in the past, version of this call, we have gone over this extensively. And so if any one of you would like to take a look at those discussions, I'll simply refer you to our YouTube channel, just like this meeting is being live streamed right now on the YouTube. You'll also find past meetings recording there. And then you can, know more about this particular item. But definitely, if you'd like to work on it, you can comment, and then we'll get this issue assigned to you. As you can right now see, there are a lot of conflicts too. So this is an area which needs investigation and significant efforts too. So ideally, anyone who would like to volunteer will have to have, fair understanding of React, Gatsby, and how things work. So that would be for this call for volunteer. I've already shared the link in chat. Next up, let's quickly.
Yeah, hello Vivek. Sorry, my connection terminated.
Yeah, Sridhan, so it's really good to have you back. Would you like to continue your introduction?
No, oh yeah, no, I did most of my introduction. If you guys heard what I said, that I am fluent in React, React, Next.js, and most of the web development roadmap. And also, I'm for the last 2 months, I've been doing Docker and Kubernetes on the side, learning it. And also, my learning source has been Harkirat Singh's cohort and Free Code Camp on YouTube. With on the side, I've also made a few projects like. One AI photo generator project I had made where you give a prompt to a website and it generates your photo or your photo profile as well. So that's my expertise, but I'm trying to expand it as much as I can.
That's just awesome, Siddhant. So quickly, it can be a good challenge for you if you are up for it, or if you like to dedicate some time. So I've already described the ask. I assume that you missed it. So I'll ask that you refer back to this particular section of the call. So since this is being live streamed right now, you can always refer back to the recorded session. So I've already shared the link to YouTube. Let me know if I'm not able to find it out. I'll again reshare. So this might be a challenge for you to take up, Siddhant.
No, I will refer to back to the call.
Yeah,
afterwards.
That's just awesome. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so let's now talk about Catalog and what it is and how, just like you publish your projects on GitHub, where you can then share a link to maybe your colleagues or maybe some recruiter about the kind of work that you have done using development or any number of other projects. We have a cloud native catalog of Kubernetes design apps that when you publish some high quality apps, you also can share that with your colleagues or anyone you would like to know about your cloud native skill. So let's quickly talk about that. These are again a bunch of calls for volunteers, and there's this issue which has all the details and instruction on how you are supposed to do this. I will be going ahead by first sharing it out. And basically to say, if we quickly take a look at Mishri catalog, there are a couple of places where we have these catalogs. For example, this one, mishri.io/catalog. Let me quickly share that in the chat. And there are two type of items like designs and models. Let's right now open designs. And you can see many designs based on these technologies and categories too, even if it's on deployment or the kind of observability. So you can go through and explore all these designs. Once you click on them, you get detailed information about the design, what it is, which Kubernetes component it is made up of, and it necessarily doesn't have to be Kubernetes only. In a number of other cloud native tools that are there. In fact, all the CNCF project, you can explore them all out in a live Kubernetes cluster environment. So, and basically, the designs that you are creating, it will be attributed to your user. So this one is published by Lee, and if you click on it, you will be taken to his cloud profile where you can see his other designs and other details about him, his achievements. If you would like to open this in a live playground, you can do so by clicking on this link. Or let's say you would like to run this in your local Kubernetes cluster environment. So clicking on the download will download a manifest file for you that you can then do the kubectl apply command or any sort of thing that you can do in the Kubernetes world and then run on your local system. we can like, go through only the catalog and it will not be enough for this call. So at this point, I highly recommend that you all go to the issue description and take some time to read it out. We also have one of the blogs that describes like what it does and how it will be helping any number of, teams of DevOps folks to collaborate and seamlessly design their cloud-native infrastructure. If I give you an example, so right now we are all on this Google Docs. I can see your avatar, and if you are like here, I can see that someone is here and they're writing. So we can all collaboratively do our stuff on this Google Docs. Similarly, in this tool, which this blog talks about, is Canvas. And by the way, I'll be quickly sharing the link in the chat. So even if you like to stay anonymous, you can simply click on to that link that is in chat, and you can get going by exploring the tool and its capabilities. So coming back to this blog, just like Google Docs, that we can do collaboration on the regular, daily items. If it's about cloud-native tools and designing your infrastructure, you can do that collaboratively with your teams or your colleagues. If it's for some work purpose or just for learning purpose, you can do so in Canvas, right in your browser. You don't need to have any local setup. And that's exactly what this blog talks about. There are instructions on how you can get started. You don't have to write a Kubernetes manifest file or a Docker Compose file or a Helm chart by yourself. You also can grab any number of these example applications from places like Kubernetes example, if we quickly open. So there are any number of example applications that you can import directly through the URL or downloading the YAML files and then doing so. So yeah, once you go through this exercise and you submit a request for publishing, once they are approved by the admins, it will be showing up on here. And then there's another place where we have catalog. Okay, so I have to type from my side. Yeah, this one. So like this catalog is based on is on a static site, but this one, it's pretty powerful and has a couple of other metrics as well. I will quickly be sharing the link in the chat. So in fact, in here, you can also track the engagement on your design. So for example, this was published by Mascot 5. And if you see all these, metrics that you see, the figures next to the icons, they mean something. And again, about that, you can explore in the docs. But yeah, you also can track the engagement on your designs, and there are top performers, and we usually celebrate their achievement in our Mishri development meeting every week. So these are a couple of things I wanted you to know. Back to this call for volunteers. So yeah, if you'd like to get started contributing to it, just like Liben has done, you can comment and we'll assign you this particular issue. Similarly for template, so if you have ever started with any UI tools, for example, let's say Figma, they give you an starting template that you can, tinker around to finally take a look at and get the feeling of the tool. I mean, in comparison to you starting from scratch. And so this is our goal too. So since like Canvas and Mishri Playground, they are a visual designer tool for Kubernetes infrastructure, we are looking to get some of these templates out. And in fact, if you right now go to canvas.new, you will see there are some starting template for you to explore. For example, on this screen, just give me a minute. Yeah, apologies, folks. Like I had some business to take care of, but I'm back, and we'll quickly if any one of you can confirm if you're able to see my screen and if I'm audible.
Yeah, I can see your screen and you're audible.
Thanks a lot, Siddharth. So like I was saying, so these templates that you see, they are created by contributors like you and me only. And so there are any number of others that you can contribute to. Again, since all of these issues have descriptive detail, I will not go talking about all of them. So if you like to work on it, it would be a no code contribution, because you're only required to go into the tool and take inspiration from such past templates and then just get on with the work. I'll be quickly sharing links to all of these open templates items. So that was about catalog. Now we will be talking about assistant. So a couple of you folks are here like, very UI centric. You have, focus in UI part of the things. And so we have assistant. And if I can open the assistant repo. So just like MUI, material UI, which gives you a reusable component that you directly can utilize in your project. Since we have many UI clients in the community, various projects, we decided to have all the reusable components and assets in one place and have this in-house design system. It's called Systent. Dedicated section for Systent, which is at this place. Let me quickly share that too. So I'll just simply be going to components, and that gives you an idea of all the available components. These are not exhaustive in nature, as in all the components that are available inside Systent are not documented. So that's again in itself is a set of call for volunteers that's like is being worked on. And if any one of you like to help, I'll be making that call for volunteers next. But yeah, for those which are available, you simply can go and take a look at how you can use that in your project, the guidance and code around them, encode like the snippet on the users. So you can see how it can be used inside your project as well. So that was a quick overview on the system. On this particular subject only, we have many, training sessions delivered by past contributors and maintainers too. So, in a hands-on way, as in how you can set it up locally to how you can see the changes being reflected, and then how you can use Systent in a project, in a UI project, which is, using multiple components from Systent. So those sorts of training were given, and you can again take a look at all of them through the links that is available in the meeting minutes. So again, if you yet don't have access to these docs, let me go ahead by sharing that again. Yeah, let's talk about some open issues on the documentation. So all these issues which are on Systent, these are documentation issues. So not necessarily you will have to write code for these, but you will have to write, how to use these components in a project, those sorts of guide. And since there are any number of open issues, and since there are any number of merge pull requests, closing these, you can take inspiration from them. You can take inspiration from the MUI docs for the component, and also the existing docs for any number of open, like the available components. And yeah, you will have to be familiarity with React and Gatsby, but I won't say that should stop any one of you from contributing to these issues if you would like to do so. I will be sharing that down in chat again. Let me also once go to Systent, and if I scroll back in the README, these are the steps on how to get it running locally and then watch for any changes. So again, these all links are available, so I will not be going ahead by sharing them all individually. I think that's all on the standing agenda items. We will be covering items one by one on the sites. And as you can see, we don't have many open issues and the pull request or the agenda items from folks. So yeah, if you're working on any sites, like those are mentioned in here, and if you have any open issues, please feel free to go ahead and list them down. The link to this Google Docs is already in chat. The very first site, that's layer5.io site. I will be dropping the link in chat. And the very first item is a call for volunteers. So let's quickly take a look at that. So we have a DevRel page. So for folks who are into developer advocacy or developer relations, how they can utilize the platform that the community provides to conduct live hands-on workshop, so that their audience can follow them in real time. Or let's say you have to give some presentation, you also can do so, or some live interactive sessions on Kubernetes or cloud-native tools, how the community helps you do that. And in fact, you can refer to some of the testimonials given by community leaders, and like, for example, Nick, who's a principal developer advocate at HashiCorp, has given this. And then also, like, if you like to let's say, build your cloud native or DevOps profile. Just like you can showcase your projects on GitHub, you can do the same through the high quality designs that you have on your cloud profile. So folks can actually see the kind of engagement you are getting and how many people are learning or utilizing that. So details around that, we have like described them all into this particular page. This particular issue that we are currently discussing talks about this particular section. So there are multiple badges that are awarded to members who are putting consistent efforts. If I quickly take you there. So the site is at badges.layer5.io. It's our recognition program that we do. For example, let's say you are working in the community, you are helping others. There's a community badge that you are awarded. And similarly, there are any number of badges that you are afforded. Like, for example, in Hacktoberfest, you are awarded with the Hacktoberfest badge, and so on and so forth. You can read all of them about all of them into this particular recognition program site. This particular issue talks about the need of us replacing this Meshri badge with a Meshmate badge. And I think that's exactly what issue tells. Now, since we don't have a Meshmate badge available, this is a call for volunteer for folks who are familiar with Figma. So in the issue description itself, there's an open invite to our Figma assets. So you click onto this link, you're logged in into Figma, and you directly are given access to Layer 5 Figma assets, where you can see the past mockups of these badges. What is the ask is basically having the same structure, just changing the text on the badge and also the icon. We also have a badge, like the icon for Meshmates, that you will find in our brand page. So if I take you there, and since I only I remember we should be able to find it in the resources. Let's see. Okay, in the community and events calendar. All right, so since I remember
I think it is in the community section.
Okay, did you say that it's in the community section?
Yep. There it is below newcomers.
Just a minute. Okay, so I don't see the brand page. Okay, you're talking about Meshmates. Yeah, that's exactly fine. Yeah, so on this particular page, you get to know about who are the Meshmates and how you can reach out to them. I was talking about this page, that's company/brand. So in here,
Okay, I see.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. So on this page, all the logos that we utilize and also the brand colors, it's pretty important for everyone, anyone who is here for making contributions to the front end, or let's say designing some assets like mockups, what the colors and the fonts that we use across the project, also the logos. We are right now interested into the Meshmate logo. I'll search for that, and there it is. So this is the logo for dark mode, and this is for light mode. And so this is the colored version and this is the white version. Just this icon has to be placed on this design. For example, the icon will be replaced from the Meshmate icon and the text has to be changed. And there you go, that will be a Meshmate badge. So anyone who would like to contribute by doing this, creating this Meshmate badge, please feel free to comment down and I'll be happy to assign you. Then you can go ahead by creating this. If you have familiarity and you have worked in Figma, I don't think this should be a difficult task to do. And I've already pointed you to where you can go get access to the Figma assets. So once again, I'll be sharing this link quickly in the chat. I'll also pause and see if anyone from the call would like to volunteer, or if you have some familiarity working in Figma.
Does this issue has a time deadline or something?
I don't think so, but I really any issue that's there, and if you are getting assigned, 2 weeks should be a reasonable way to do this. And since this is a pretty straightforward thing to do for anyone who is familiar with Figma, it shouldn't take more than a week. But to answer your question, no, Siddhant, no.
No, okay, I'll comment on this issue for the assignment.
Yeah, thanks a lot for volunteering. All right, let's also quickly discuss about this pop-up. Yeah, so if you right now visit the home page of the site, there's this pop-up coming up, and that's about, access to Playground. Since you also since the time being, we also have a new tool in-house, like canvas.new. I think, okay, let's open this tab only. So we are in need of having same pop-up on not necessarily the home page, or it could also be that we replace this one, the Playground one, with the canvas pop-up, but any number of other pages that we have. For example, in the site, if you go to products, we have a page dedicated to Canvas. So on this page too, we can have a pop-up for Canvas. For example, the blog that we were taking a look at, that pop-up could be as a CTA. There's already a CTA, but we can enhance this for sure by having that pop-up. And similarly, on any number of other particular sections, we can have that particular pop-up for the Canvas. So again, if you like to work on it, this is a call for volunteer, and I would like to drop this down quickly in chat. Please comment if you like to get assigned. Again, I'll wait for 5 seconds before we move on. And you will already find the implementation for this pop-up. So it should just be a copy paste. Some assets will be needed that you can request and be provided, but I think it should be pretty straightforward thing to do. So the link is already in chat. Please comment if you like to get assigned. There's an issue mentioned from Jeffrey. Let's see if we have Jeffrey on board. Looks like we don't. We'll quickly take a look at this particular issue. So it says when we're clicking on the testimonials slider, so let's quickly go back to the section where these testimonials are. I'm not sure if these are on the page. I know they're not. Let's go to a page where there's, testimonials. Yeah, there it is. So let me also share this in chat too. Yep. So ideally, when you have your cursor on this particular slider, testimonial slider, it doesn't move. And I think that's expected. You don't want it to move when you are reading anything and you have your cursor, you are going through the text and you don't want it to move. That's, I think, good. Yeah. As soon as you move away your mouse, like it then, continues doing its sliding. But for you to have your pointer in, like the cursor in here, and to move it out, you will have to slide. I think that's, ideal and expected thing to do. Now let's go back and see what this particular proposal is saying. We need to tag a slider. That's exactly what's there. Instead, when we click on an event, it should move. Okay. So they're saying, let's say, if right now I click onto this particular card, it should come to center. But in my opinion, I don't think that's how it should work, or like if it's expected behavior. So again, this is an area where you can sound off with your feedback. I will also be sharing this issue in chat. Like I've also suggested that Jeffrey join this call and discuss this. So feel free to unmute yourself and let me know about your thoughts on what should we do. Like, is this ideal behavior, or you would like to, chime in and support what Jeffrey is saying in here? Like, we should be centering a card, testimonial card, as soon as we click on it. So anyone can come up on mute and, participate into the discussion. You also can do the same in chat. For my part, I don't think we should move the card in center if we are clicking on it, because this looks good to me, what we have currently. Does anyone have any thoughts or suggestions?
I honestly don't think that there's a need to have some other functionality using the mouse click, mouse scroll or something, because I was actually in async API, and we in the one of the website we actually had a React slider component that had an automatic slider. So me and some other contributor was actually planning of having a manual scroll, but at the end we realized that it will be much more complex and it will actually hinder the site's SEO. So we actually discarded that. So I don't think it's necessary in this case as well.
On point. So, and in fact, you're not the only one. First of all, thanks a lot for your feedback, Siddhant, and many others are also chiming in against the proposal. So, Jeffrey, if you're watching this recording, I think we'll probably have to close this out for now. But yeah, I'll also follow up with Jeffrey after the call. Thanks a lot, Libin and Alok, Siddhant, for chiming in. All right, looks like we took care of that. Okay, so Alok is one of the contributors and is pretty efficiently taking up, tackling 404 issues. And if we go one meeting back, we discussed about 404s and like how we are working on fixing that. Let's open it up and then we'll be having a broader context on what's the issue and the suggested fix. Yep. So this is an open issue, which is an epic issue, and many contributors, including Alok, CS engineer, Rajat, and myself, are working on. So like we have a couple of systems which index our pages and they report back whether or not what's the SEO health and stuff. And we have like about 75 pages giving not found, like 404 errors. So, and this is a list of the link and pages that were reported. Not necessarily all of these links are to be fixed. For example, this is some gibberish search and we don't want to fix it out. But any number of others that we would like to, we will go ahead and put in a redirect in place, or we will find a source from where those links are mentioned, so that just we simply can get rid of those links and have a proper, proper working reference. So there are many folks working, and if you take a look, I have also chimed in with suggestions on what should we be fixing and what should we not. Alok is one of the individuals who is very aggressively working and seeing that we are, getting rid of these 404s. And so there are a couple of PRs that we have got merged, and since Alok is on the call, I'll just simply say, Alok, do you want to take it from here and would like to present your analysis on how many links we fixed and how many we are still in need of fixing?
I have created a doc to simplify what is fixed and what is not. So I will just simply share that.
Yeah, would you like to share your screen and walk everyone through? I'm afraid, Alok, if we are able to hear you, so would you like to share your screen and walk us through the docs, or you like to share a link that I can open up?
Okay, I will share the link.
That would work. We can open up a link and then we can go through it to see what are the links that we are still missing to fix. All right. In the meantime, Alok does that. This Nishmit pad, I think we already covered it out. So I'll see if we get any volunteers, then we can start working on it. But that's all on this site, the Grade5.io site. If you would like to know about the open issues on the particular site, and it's true for all the sites, you simply can go to the footer and click on GitHub logo, and that should take you to the GitHub org and repository where you can browse all the open issues. We actually have more than currently mentioned items, but for now it will be all. Next up, we have this site, which is a site on docs.layer5.io. And I don't see an item mentioned from Liu, but since he has thing to talk about, I wonder if Liu would like to go next and share his screen and talk about the project, like the update that he has on the drop down on resources.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so the issue was to add a drop down under resources tab. It was videos before, so it was to add resources and add these two links. So there exists an existing drop down which was over here. I will show it again. I just deleted it. So
sorry to interrupt, but since we will likely want
made
other
it the
folks
same,
to...
so it's better to show, I think.
Leo, okay, so I just quickly take some time to say that since we would... Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to give some context on the issue that we'll be discussing, because we will want others to chime in and share their feedback. If you right now go to the live site. That
Okay.
is docs.layer5.io. And I'll also be sharing
Yeah.
the link in chat.
Okay.
Yeah, folks. So right now, if you
So
see the nav menu, there's nav menu for cloud, canvas, and videos. If you once go for videos, click on videos.
yeah.
Yeah, you are taken to our video library. So, but ideally, we would not want to. So these cloud and canvas are two products, and videos, is more of a resources. And we then also have another resource in form of academy. So what the ask was to basically include a drop down called resources, and the drop down items be videos and academy. That's exactly what Liu has done. Now he has a couple of versions of these drop down, and I will ask for any number of you who are on the call to offer your feedback. Which one is the good? Which one would be ideal one, and which is one you would like more, like having more. And if you notice, we also have existing drop down in place. If you click onto that, so, yeah, this drop down right now, for some reason the canvas icon is bigger, probably because of some hard-coded style or stuff, but we'll get that fixed. But yeah, right now this is also a drop down, and it opens up like this. Having all this context in mind, I will invite you all on the call to chime in with your thoughts. If you now switch back to your local host, Leo. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have resources, and then you have academy and videos in this format.
Yes.
And you also had one another version of this. Do you mind opening that up too?
Okay. It's better to show the
Yeah,
DM.
please open it up.
So this one, wait, sorry. Okay, so this was using the existing drop down. This is what it was, this one, existing over here. This is what it would look like. And other one was, I found on a Figma, already Figma design. That was, I think this one is an older design.
Yeah, this is an older design.
That's,
Right?
these are an old design, yes. So I'm looking for suggestions to which one to go. And
Yeah.
also one thing I noticed is with the existing drop down, if I, for example, click on multiple drop downs, both of them would appear, the other one will not disappear.
Then there might be some issues with the way the code is set up, the JavaScript
one
logic
issue
that
to
is.
end. Yes, yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like since these drop
It
downs
doesn't
have some.
turn off the other drop down. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Since there's like specific IDs mentioned, and so, okay, do you have a PR up by any chance?
I'm about to create a PR. I was looking for suggestions.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, so yeah, we'll have to get that behavior fixed. I mean, having multiple drop downs, they should not be interfering with each other. Yes, so I think
Yes.
if you now switch back to the two versions that you have, let's ask from folks.
Okay.
What's their opinion? So this is the one that you currently, you're on localhost. If you go to the main
Yes.
site version of the site,
Okay.
so this is the
Well, I
current.
mean, yeah.
Yeah. The very first feedback that I have, sorry, if you go to your localhost, you have a
Okay.
resources, and it doesn't really says that it's a drop down. So ideally, if we have that downward arrow, that would mean that there are
Yeah.
multiple items. Because if you see
Yeah,
cloud
like
and canvas, they are just hyperlinks.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And for the placement of these drop-down items, either on a row or in the column fashion that you showed on the screen, do we have any thoughts or suggestions from anyone on the call? What do you think is more appropriate to have?
This
I
one,
think
this
that
one.
I think that like if we are planning to not have a lot of options, like in the resources we only have academy and videos, but other drop downs there may be more than two or three. So if we have like 4 or 5, it might get cluttered, and then we might have problem of having too many in like 2 rows as well. So if like we have just 2 or 3, then the like in the current photo that I'm seeing, the academy and videos, this drop down works. But if we have a lot of items under the drop down, then the normal catalog drop down is the one that I think is the most preferable, because I think that is much more like easy to organize as well, and much more like good, like it feels good to the eye to see
Yeah,
a
so
catalog
again,
version.
like since there are two drop downs on the screen, and you mentioned about, so can you please say which one you mentioned about, like the first one on the screen or the below one?
I mentioned this catalog version, like the current that I'm seeing, resources, academy, and videos. This I think is the much better one. Like if like in the future, if there are plans to add more items under the drop down, then it will look less cluttered, no matter what.
Yeah, that I totally got, and thanks a lot for that. But on the screen there, there is one version of the drop down on the above, and in the bottom there is another. So which one are you referring to? I'm confused in that. If you
I'm
can tell me.
I'm referring to the top one, the
Okay,
top
top
one.
one. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's also go back to the main site right now that there is, and like I said, there's also a drop down. If you click onto that, icon, and it has items in this. So again, like if we move from this version of the drop down items, we might not be consistent in way we are displaying the items in there in the two different drop downs. So that also again might cause some confusion, because all the items that you see, Mishri, Canvas, Catalog, they're again they're also
Yes.
drop down items.
Yeah.
So we have some mixed feedback.
Yeah.
Alok is saying that the column one is looking good. Siddhant is saying it's like okay for if we have less number of resources, but in future if they increase, we will have to probably switch back to having that column, like in row wise placement of the drop down items. Any other
Yeah,
thoughts or
this is
feedback from anyone else?
what it will look like. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, please go ahead.
Hi, Siru.
Yeah, we can, Libin.
Yeah, so I think the vertical one seems nice from the UI perspective. As Alok said, maybe when we have a lot of components, maybe that might be the time to think about it. But now, like this looks good for me. The vertical one, the stacked ones, looks very good. And regarding the two drop downs opening together, so maybe if you guys are using if I haven't seen the drop down component, but if it extends the input element, you can just check out the Ombler function. So basically, if it is not on focus, you can just close it, or like is another way also to handle that, where you can just set up a event handler, and if the click is not
So basically,
inside that, yeah.
That would like be most helpful when Liu has a PR up, and then we can take a look at the code that he has. So maybe if he's passing the same ID, that might also be interfering. So that's something we'll have to take a look. But Liban, do
No,
you?
nice. Separate, yeah. Separate IDs.
Yeah. Please get your PR up, and then we can all come and take a look.
Okay.
Liban, again, can you please clarify what did you mean by vertical one? So the column, if you go to that column setting, Liu.
Okay.
So this is
Like,
Liban, did you refer to this particular one that we are seeing on the screen right now?
yes, this one.
Okay, so we seem to be divided on this subject. So we have Nitin Alok saying that the column placement that's already existing on the site is good. And there are a couple of folks who are saying that we should be having this column one. All right. I think for now, like we can go with the column version that you have, Liu. And since if we don't do that, we will also have to refactor the other icon. And since, I mean, that would be, a couple of, that would be a must task. We simply can have column one right now, but yeah, having this thought and solutions in mind, we might want to, add some another styling or have the one that folks have suggested. So like
Okay.
I'll follow up
Okay.
with you on the PR when you have that up, and we'll like I'll mention this feedback there.
Okay. Okay. And also,
Mhm.
and I couldn't find an icon for videos. I was able to find for Academy, but not for videos.
Yeah, Alok, sorry to, yeah, Alok, so please open an issue, and if you'd like to work on it, comment, and I'll assign that to you. Or you also can submit it at, or direct PR, that would also be good. This might be just be some hard-coded style. Yeah, so Leo, for videos, I think what will work is, for videos, like there will be, I mean, we just simply can have a generic video icon that, is mentioned anywhere on Play. So you can take inspiration from existing video libraries from other sites, and we just simply can have that. And in fact, I wonder if the play icon that's in the middle, that can be used, but then like we might also have the duplicate icons. So for videos, you can take inspiration and then, yeah.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So I think that's all from your side, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thanks a lot. And great work on, presenting both the versions and then letting us offer you the feedback. Thanks a lot. That's such an awesome update.
Thank you.
We have a call for volunteer about writing some docs. Since it has already descriptive description there, I'll just simply not discuss. For Jihan, there's some styling updates, but she's not on the call, and so we'll be skipping. There are some good first issues, and I want all of you on the call who have not yet started working, please go and comment, and I'll be more than happy to assign you these items. For example, this one, this just basically is replacing a screenshot on one of the docs pages that we have, and it's such a good first issue for you to get started. Let me quickly drop this down in chat. You simply can go and comment. That way, I'll be able to assign you. So hopefully this is clear. Does anyone would like to go next and volunteer for this one?
I actually just did a good first issue this morning, so I will drop this one. It was also related to some Hugo's, like using Hugo framework to work on some documentation.
Okay. Like that's so considerate of you. So you are like leaving it and passing it on to other newcomers. That's awesome.
I will look into the issue. I'm still a little new to the code base, and if I find the issue entertaining, then I will comment on it.
Yeah, that works. So I already have dropped the link, so I think we will be going to the next issue, like the good first item. I think we already covered it from JK. So I think JK is Liu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a PR from a contributor, and it's about layer 5 service status. I'll quickly like to show you. So right now, here you see, this simply makes a API call to see when our systems are operational and when they are down. You might be aware of the same from other companies. So the same status should be there in the footer of this docs page, docs site. And I think this issue talks about that only. Now, there's a PR from one of the contributors, Lumen Codes, but that is not seeing any progress. So if anyone would like to go and take this forward, and there are some sessions which are still in need of being incorporated, and they already have pretty much done the work, but they need to address this session. But since that's not responding, I just wondered if anyone of you like to go and take this PR forward. I'll simply drop it down. You can take their changes and can open up new pull request if they don't respond in time, and we can merge yours. So again, that's linked down in chat. Let's quickly open this up. Yeah, so for fixing this one, you will have to have some familiarity with Hugo and various type of components that it provides. So basically this page right now, it's a simple plain page. It has multiple illustrations, for example, these keyboard ones and some, screenshots. And as you go, you will be able to see, these icons and then some lists. So, and right now, like it's not much easier to read and go through. So we can have some, there are any number of suggested formats, but yeah, it's all open for your imagination and, thinking process too. We can have some content tabbed content, like, content apps that can show these alternatively, or some other settings that are built in Hugo, or since we are using Bootstrap, you can also leverage that. And then also like make this page more readable and easier to go through. So yeah, this is not the easiest of the things to do, but yeah. Yep, looks like there's already someone on this, so we'll have to let it go. I'll follow up and get them assigned. But yeah, if you'd like to, be updated of all the changes that are done, I'll quickly leave it out in the chat box. And yeah, for all of you, any one of you to get assigned, yeah, you will have to comment, and then only we are able to, do that. So I think that's pretty much about the good first issues. I have multiple updates on the video library, but since we are out of time, I'll simply be like, I quickly will take you through the changes that I have done. So I'll get rid of some of these tabs. So the very first update on the video page on the docs. So this is the video library, and these are automatically generated, like these top level categories and subcategories. They're automatically generated and in the Hugo file system, and like the way this framework is, developed. If you would like to take a look at the contributing guide that we have for it, I think I've listed that down into this. Yeah, this is the PR which talks about how you can, contribute to the videos if you have some. And there's also a template folder that is as a draft, set to draft, so it will not show up in the published site. But if you are building this site locally, you will be able to see that in the live, running system. So there's a contributing guide on that, on how you can add videos and stuff. But this update, this basically was making sure that a couple of behavior that are not, desired, that they are not happening. So again, like since I have the descriptions there, if you'd like to take a look, you simply can go through and offer me any feedback, although it's already merged. But yeah, if there's any feedback from you, I'll surely take a look and incorporate any changes that you suggest. Yeah, this is a pretty quick fix. So we also need to be consistent, and so instead of using raw hex code, we need there was a feedback given, and I incorporated to have only the SS variable that we have defined inside this site. So this is again an important point if you are working into this site or any other site. To the extent that you can, always please use the variables and theme that we have there instead of using hex code and any other code, based on the theme or any other settings. So this update was about that. And it also was fixing some other issues. For example, this is a video library in the site, and then we also have docs pages. Now, it's possible that a couple of videos are linked to a particular docs page, for example, this one. Now, how should that linking be done? And how do you determine what's the most relevant video that should come up on this related videos page on the docs? And how that system works, and what is the settings that we are using and the logic that we have. There is a description on that. So yeah, so we are using front matters, but categories and tags to link between these docs and video content and their relevance too. So there is a relevance and matching score system. If you'd like to read more onto that, I have described that into this particular PR. And you can see all of these hands-on when you build the site. Again, for building this particular Hugo site, we can find the code and the instructions into the README. It's a pretty straightforward steps to do. So yeah, just one, the point that when you are running this site, you will need to have extended version of Hugo and not the simple ones. Again, this is a, mentioned in there, so no need to worry about that. Yeah, and there was some refactoring done in default YouTube shortcode that we have. So basically, for us to control the default YouTube shortcode, we had some overriding to do, and that's basically about it. It's again a quick fix PR. So I think that was all about my updates. You can go through any of these pull requests that we discussed that were mine or anyone else's, and you can feel free to offer your feedback or suggestions. But for today, that would be it. We have some call for volunteer for creating some badges. Again, that would require familiarity with Figma assets. And again, for example, if you click on this one, new badge first view. This issue does well to describe the ask, how you are to implement it, and when it will be accepted. All the resources that you will need, all of them is mentioned. And again, you can see the similar issues and you can start working on them if it aligns to your skill set and interests. But that was all. We are already 5 minutes over. So we would ideally wrap the call up, but I'll quickly mention about other meetings that are happening in the community. So this is the link to our community calendar. Let me also drop that down in chat. Thanks a lot, Alok, for sharing the link to the 404 docs. I'll be sure to link that down to the meeting minutes too. So yeah, this is the community calendar. And just like on Monday, we have sites meeting. On Wednesday, we have ministry development meeting. And on Thursday, we have newcomers meeting, where we also are running contributor training series on multiple components of the project, like UI or backend or CLI or testing. So you can also be part of them. On second and fourth Thursday, we have build and release meeting that's focused on CI/CD and automations. So yeah, this is about all of them. You also can take a look at the Slack channels where discussions are happening around these meetings. Their meeting minutes. Meeting minutes are basically Google Docs. Just like for websites meeting, this is the meeting minutes. You will find meeting minutes for other sites. So that's all listed down into this calendar. And I think I already shared this down in chat. So feel free to subscribe to it to get all the updates. But basically that was it for today. If you missed writing your name in the attendance, please do. After the call, I'll once again share the Google Docs. Make sure that you write your name into these attendees. And I'll shortly be posting the meeting minutes for this call and also recorded session. So yeah, that is all, folks. I thank you all for joining and offering your feedback. We'll meet on the development meeting or the next Monday meeting on the websites. And so yeah, if you're working on any items on sites, we'll be sure to discuss them and get feedback. But today, this is it. I'll see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.